Ooh, it's late night. It's still Sunday though, and so I'm still making it happen. Welcome to K.I.S.S. Recovery 101. This is Bridge, the super secret show. Okay, that's what I'm going with. 8 o'clock was not going to happen no matter what. I was going to try to work out because, again, plans never work out the way I want them, and everybody else has their own things they're doing. And it turns out today's Father's Day, so it's really hot. And but anyway, I was really feeling miserable, and I decided, what's the best place to share that misery? Is live on air with you guys tonight. So, listeners, welcome. So, I do have a anonymous guest here with me. Do you want to just say hi? You do not have to reveal who you are.
Hello.
Okay, see, people, I'm not alone. I didn't have to do it. I did have to bribe this person. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much for coming. I definitely probably wouldn't have done this by myself if this didn't happen. But I got a great clip. I got a great topic. And I've been in a little bit of a hermity isolation mood these last couple days. And I got to tell you, holidays suck for me. Especially ones centered around family. But I'm going to keep it on a positive note. But I thought this is a great opportunity to discuss. Maybe there's some folks on in your journey, your recovery journey, that you feel you want to, make some peace with, make some amends with. However, there's some really good tips that I've learned through trial and error, through experience, that have been very useful for myself. And so I'm just going to share some of that wisdom. And the one person that I did make an amends with a sponsor that I trusted for this person was never on my list because it was so injurious to myself. So there's that, when to do so would injure them or others. I always like to share that others includes yourself. And for years, it was unhealthy for me. I tried to sit down and see my part and clean that side of the street. It was not good. It sent me really back into some bad stuff. So tonight we're going to discuss that. Bear with me. But guest, I'm just going to try to keep questions. I see this is your first time even listening to the show, so I'm just going to keep yes or no answers, but I encourage you to chime in as you please. And listeners, questions, comments, insights, anything you don't agree with or do agree with. I'm in a weird mood tonight, let me tell you. And it's going to be, I did not have time to check notification settings or clip settings, so this is gonna be fun tonight. Okay, let's start off with the clip, though. That's always a guaranteed something useful will come from this 1 hour podcast. So here we go. This clip is fantastic. It's one of the many ones I like to start my day with, or if I'm having a rough day, re-listen to, because it really motivates me. Guest, are you ready?
Yes.
He's fantastic. There's another person here. It's mystery guest. Okay, so if you go on YouTube, this one is called This Is Your Time, Best Motivational Speeches of 2021. And let's see, the YouTube channel is Eddie Pinero. Ooh, Pinero. Ooh, that's a cool name. Okay, so we're just going to play the first minute or two, but I do like to start my day with this one, or if I'm having a rough day, like today was. Fathers. Ooh, fathers, dads. I would say happy Father's Day to those good fathers out there. I do have guy friends. I know many good dads out there, fathers. But I also know the other side of that. So we won't wait until let's get into the clip. Let's keep it positive. Here we go, people. I'm going to push play. Are you ready, guest?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right, here we go. Our mics will be on, guests, so try to keep the noise to a minimal. Here we go. Okay, it helps if I push play. Okay, it was synced. There we go.
So much of life comes down to control. understanding what we cannot control while simultaneously capitalizing and making the most of the things that we can. A constant awareness that's critical to our evolution. Epictetus wrote, "We must be at once cautious and courageous. Courageous in what does not depend upon choice, and cautious in what does." And this idea has been shared many, many times in many ways over the centuries. Another of which a lot of folks have heard is the serenity prayer, right? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. But regardless of how it's said and who it's said to, the point is the same. There are things we cannot control that we must find a way to stop exerting ourselves, stop exhausting our energy on. They are, as the saying goes, what they are. These obstacles are immovable. And rather than continue to push and push and push with all our strength and energy, our time is best suited learning to effectively navigate them. And then there exist those things that are in our control. I believe it was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, if something cannot be changed, stop thinking about it, right? The future represents anxiety. It's worrying about things that haven't happened yet. The past is essentially depression. It's worrying about things that already happened. We can't do anything about the past or the future. All we have is now. And if it can be changed, then act now in bringing about a desired result. Take that first step. Create some semblance of momentum, no matter how small. But to worry about what is behind you or in front of you is actually insanity. I remember loving the simplicity and pointedness of that message. Accept it, eliminate it, or adjust yourself to it. Sometimes it helps when I think about things in metaphors, and I tend to do it often. This morning I was drinking coconut water, right, of all things, and I was thinking, man, it'd be nice, you know those little pieces of coconut that float around in there? I was like, it'd be great if they were not in there, right? So I had this idea, just grab a strainer, pour it through the strainer into the glass. I'm leaning over the counter, watching the pieces of coconut collect in the strainer, and I'm just thinking, sort of zoning out, like, imagine if those were my problems, just being separated out of my life just like that, how nice it would be. Captured in a little net, and then, discarded, thrown away. But, it didn't take me long to realize a couple things. One, such an idea would never happen. Life will always have some obstacle to place before us. That's what life does. After all, the word is predicated upon the avoidance of death. It's a struggle and a necessary one. Which leads me to realization number 2. We want hardship, purpose and meaning. They're derived from our willingness to overcome adversity and transform because of it. A life without struggle is a car without wheels. And sure, you might avoid the fender benders, but you're not leaving the garage. Right? So that's a thumbs down. So I thought, okay, well, what if I slightly adjust that thinking? What if it's a subset of problems that I can remove? That's when it kind of hit me, the opportunity at hand, right? Not the so-called problems, but my thoughts about them. They're the real difference maker here. The negative storytelling that can be removed, pushed through the strainer. Again, not novel or groundbreaking. Like I said a few minutes ago, this idea has been around for thousands of years, but sometimes things land perfectly. Right moment, right time. And I knew what I needed to do was remove the worries and concerns pertaining to the events that I could not change. Yet I exhaust my energy dancing around and around with my thoughts about them. You cannot change the future. You can change right now, which ultimately becomes the future. And there's a difference. I had to, pull that back in. See, I think most of our problems are derived from anger or emotional attachment to the immovable, the unchangeable. One of my favorite sayings is, you can't change the direction of the wind, but you can always adjust your sails.
Okay, sorry, I let that go for a while, but my guest is pretty much been dragged with me here tonight. I'm very grateful again. But I made an agreement as part of the bribery to get my guest with me, my anonymous guest here, that I would only ask yes or no questions. But if my guest would like to go further, I again, wink wink, encourage you to. Okay, so that clip had a lot in it, and I love it. And I definitely, when my times are rough, I do love the serenity. I have it tattooed on my arm. Grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Ooh, I love that. And it took a long time for me to even understand how I could even get an idea of a wisdom to know the difference, because not that I meant to be a controlling person, but for me, control wasn't about pride or ego or being powerful. For me, control made me feel safe and protected, and I could protect my people that I cared about, my family, my children. And so if I made all these plans and I had all these backup plans, as long as things went the way, they were supposed to go in my plan, everything would be okay. And that was a big struggle for me. So learning to let go of the past, those things don't mean everyone's going to treat me that way or be that way in the world. And to not go too far to the future. I mean, I'm a mom, so that's impossible not to have some worries about the future. But letting go of those things that I can't control. So anyway, let's just, I'm going to read right from, so I found this great article, because I do work with ladies when we go through trying to figure out, getting that self-reflection, inner peace, working on their steps. There's a great article if you go to Hazelden Betty Ford's website. And I'm going to pull it right up just to make sure that I know that I don't want to. Okay, Sally, turn it off, please.
Power off.
Thanks, Sally. That's my assistant. You've never seen my assistant in person, have you, guessed?
No.
Thank you. Okay, so let me just pull this up really quick. So I did send it to myself. I'm sorry, I guess this is a fly by the seat of my pants show tonight, so it's just very not organized as I usually am organized, but here I did make sure to send. Okay, so here we go. If you go, I'll post the website specifically, but it's as Hazelden's, I'll send the link. I'll post it in the comments. So what's the difference between making an amends and offering an apology? And I love, okay, I'm going to read what they say, and then I'll go off of that. Think of amends as action taken that demonstrates your new way of life in recovery, whereas apologies are basically just words. When you make amends, you acknowledge and align your values to your actions by admitting wrongdoing and then living by your principles. Ooh, I love that. So what's wonderful, I'll just keep going, wait. So in recovery, our actions and intentions are aligned. And so I love that they just said that perfectly, and that's how I usually try to describe it when I'm going through the process with an individual, is that I got to the point when nobody wanted to hear any of my apologies, my I'm sorries. They were just done with me, and I knew that. And so after whatever amount of time, I mean, I lost track of time. We were probably getting in double digits. Me not following through for whatever reasons, I just decided no more talking. I'm just going to walk the walk. I'm just going to do the things. And I got to the point where, you know what? I'm not even going to listen to anybody because there was a lot of discouraging people at that time. I don't care what people say that I've done before or, oh yeah. I remember just they would ask, "Oh, how you doing?" "Oh, I'm working on my recovery." "Oh, okay. What's different this time?" Or I don't, I just, what was the favorite comment? "Oh yeah, you always say that." Oh, that would just jab me. That would just kill my confidence, and I know that would stop me in my tracks. I used to let that. So those people, I took the actions, and when they would say those things, I'd be like, okay, for my mental health and for my recovery right now, I'm going to go ahead and take a little pause on our interactions, our relations right now, because I need to just do. And I literally started to not think. And as soon as that hamster wheel started going, I got out of my head. I started going to meetings, calling people, reading, doing meditations, anything to keep me from my own worst enemy, my thoughts. So that was the biggest thing. But what I love too is that amends is action. But amends, where I think it's sunk in for me, is meant for yourself. Yes, it is to make an amends, but there's a lot of people that don't want to hear none of your amends, okay? They did not want to hear none of my amends. And but I still needed to let it go. And so that's why a lot of people don't know, but if you do back to basics way, there's a great book, Wally P. There's 4 different kinds, okay? So everyone knows about direct amends, but there's also indirect amends, which could be a letter. It could be a burn it letter that never gets sent. Then there's living amends. I think a lot of folks know about the living amends. Like I said, that's the action based. Or there's just words could never, ever even amount to a proper apology or your part in it. And for me, definitely my living amends is with my children and just showing up every day and being the best person that I can be, mom I can be every day. And then that 4th amends is the in-kind amends. And that's wonderful because that is what I needed for a few people on my lists. That is when it could be for someone who's passed on, not here, dead. Do you know what passed on and dead means? Yes, I just want to make sure you're checking in.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. But it could be somebody that you don't know where they live anymore. Maybe you've lost so much time, or maybe they purposefully, mindfully dipped out and you can't get a hold of them. Or it could be somebody where it's in the title that to do so would injure them or others. And the key part for others means, say you had a person that was an abuser in your life, okay? Or multiple people. To go in there, to even try to list out or write down or even talk about what your part in it in the beginning was very highly unhealthy for me. It triggered a lot of trauma. And, I made the mistake of trying to do these things, process this stuff alone at first. Very antisocial, I was very scared of people. And so I had a plan to do all these apologies / amends by myself. However, when I finally started to acknowledge that I can't do it alone, thankfully, my first person that I had listed out the thorough list with said, Bridge, no, you do not need to make amends to this person because this person was your abuser. And later on, if you would like to make some type of amends, well, definitely let's look at that. Of course, my first response was, okay, cool, hell no. No, I'm good on that. But before that, I just even thought of it trying to find my part drove me a little cuckoo. So thankfully, though, I had that wise, beautiful person, Marcy, that was like, oh, let's just pause on this. And guess what? It's been, well, 2.5 years, and I finally want to put this person, I'm going to put it on blast, was my quote-unquote father, adopted father. He's the last person that well, like I said, was never on my list. And now I did do an amends verbally with my grief recovery sponsor. However, he passed on, let's see, 2-3 years ago. Okay, so, but I never really still fully processed things because it was very injurious to my mental health and my heart to do that. And where it really came down to, I think, when I realized the strength to be able to make that amends for myself, I actually thought about it today because of today. So, Guess, I see you getting a little antsy there. I understand. Are you doing okay, Guess? Do you need some more drink of your Red Bull?
No, I'm okay.
Wonderful. Oh, good. We got 3 words. Okay, so here I'm just going to get to a little deep stuff, and then we're going to jump right into... So, listeners, if you are able to, I do not have 3 questions for my guest. However, I want you guys to throw out questions for me. Yee! 3 hot and heavy questions. I'm going to play the fire sound, and I'm going to give you... Let's see. I'm not even keeping track of time because we're so off on time right now. Let's see. What time is it? It is 10:32. So, at 10:35... Oh, that's only 2 minutes. Okay, let's say 10:40. I'm going to get into some hot and heavy questions. I will Google them if nobody gives me any hot and heavy questions. Yikes, but I'm going to go ahead and ask them. Unless, Guess, would you like to answer any hot or heavy questions tonight?
Sure.
Okay, so we will make it open. Oh, I love that. Okay, so what I'll do is, since I didn't prepare anything, we'll Google deep questions to ask. Do you see what I did? I just naturally, totally distracted from what I was going to share because I know it might be a little morbid. But when I was driving back from being up north, I remember the moment when I thought, if I have to see my part in, for this amends with my adopted father, who was very much an abuser to me, my part, here we go. I already feel it welling up in my throat, so just don't be scared, Guess. It's okay. My part would be that I was a coward in the sense of not as a child, as an adult, that I never was able to get to that point, well, in my recovery, in my sobriety, just to stand up and say to his face what I felt was wrong with our interactions. Because, like a coward, I went to my mom or his wife. I went to my siblings. Took a long time for me to even realize that a lot of the abuse was actual truth. I mean, I had a lot of people telling me that I was lying or making it up or it must have been somebody else. And so it was very hard. And when I found out that there had been other people that he abused, I'm okay. Sorry. My guest is so comforting. He tapped me on the shoulder. I realized it was real. And I guess it's okay. I'm okay with the fact that I never got that opportunity to directly acknowledge that with him. That was my part, though, so me numbing out and escaping was not the answer, and that was definitely my part. And I definitely should have, could have, would have, whatever. But like I said, it's taken me almost 3 years to get to this point. But that would have been my part. And you know what? I want people to chime in because it's totally, this is the first time I've ever said this open and out loud. Eee! Perfect trade time for Father's Day. But that was my part, is I never stood up to him, to his face, and said, why did you do this? Or this was what you did, and then my amends part would have been like, I accept that this is what happened, and it is what it is. It's the past, and I moved on. I don't even know. Like, now I'm going to have to process this. Like, I have people on my phone list. But I have let go of it. I just feel like it speaks volumes that on this day, every freaking year, it bothers me. Because I do see all the happy dads. My dream father was Steve Martin on in the movie The Father of the Bride movies. Oh, man. Every time I watch those movies, I was like, that would have been great to have a dad like that. That just loved his daughter and wanted everything to be perfect for her wedding. And then she had a baby. And I was like, man, I can't even imagine. And I do see great dads out there. And I'm like, that is so awesome. So, again, I'm not trying to be morbid on Father's Day. But for me, Father's Day sucks. But I did get to get away for the last couple days, and it was really nice, and some of the memes are very appropriate for tonight. Okay, guest, sorry, I know this made things a little awkward. Are you still with me, guest?
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead. Go. I see that your little phone is, we're going to play the fire sound, because guess what, guest? It's time for the hot seat. Ooh, we have interactions. See, I don't have any of my alarms going off. Okay, let's see. Fun, yes. Okay. Welcome. Oh, see, a Facebook user said, welcome, anonymous guest. And you do have a mic, so at any point you want to just talk, you feel free. Go ahead and start playing that fire sound. Oh, Mahana said, you never were a coward. Remember that. Just know you are loved. Oh, Mahana. Oh, and I got to give a shout out to Mahana and Sarah, a couple of my close inner circle folks. Definitely, it was great. I did talk to a couple people just to let them know that, or at least message back. I mean, I shut down, honestly, the last couple days. Just, that's what I do. It's okay to escape for some self-care. That's okay. And I'm back in town. It's not permanent. Okay, let's get on point. So, hopefully everybody can hear that. Does that sound like fire to you, guest? That's a yes or no question.
Yes.
Okay, so that means it's hot seat time, and I'm going to answer but not random questions from Google that are deep, and then guest, I will invite you. I'll just ask you if you would like to answer the same question, and you get to say yes or no. Okay, here we go. Ooh, I'm a little nervous. This is just so random and spontaneous, but I'm already feeling much better. I already feel a weight lifted. Okay, here we go. So Google, deep questions to ask. Ooh, friends. Okay, this is a good one. I think we're all friends here, right? Okay. Ooh, there's 100 options, so I'm going to click on the 100 options. Let's see. Question number 1. Google is asking, yes, I'm skimming them. Let's see. Yikes. Ooh, there's some 9 questions. I'm not going to get into that, so okay. Okay, this is a lot. Okay, some of these questions I've already asked, so I guess I don't know if it's fair to ask. Okay, I'm just going to go random. Here we go. Have you ever felt guilty about not doing something good enough? Oh, that's great. Okay. Guest, have you ever felt guilty about not doing something good enough?
No.
Oh, okay. So I can't make you elaborate. Okay. So I am also going to answer this question. And then after I do give an answer, feel free to respond if you'd like. Okay. Have I ever felt guilty about not doing something good enough? Yes. That's a daily struggle. However, I am way much better. And let me think. Okay, so I guess to be fair, the last time I felt guilty about not doing something good enough, well, aside from mom guilt and messing up that stuff on a daily basis, I never feel like I'm good enough. Although I know I am. Blah, 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 blah. I definitely feel as a single mom, I do not give each of my 5 children the amount of one-on-one time, quality time that they deserve. That's something I struggle with. I've tried different things. I had this 20-minute cool old school like cooking alarm clock. So I was originally going to do like 20 minutes a day mom time, and then I realized that it ended up to way too much time. And then I just recently discovered that this is an article, very interesting. It takes 3 minutes, something like that. 3 one-on-one, looking in someone's eyes, completely interacting and listening for someone to feel a connection. And so I literally tried this on my 4-year-old, okay? Well, I did 5 minutes. But 100% got on the floor with him, looked in his eyes, even though he was looking at me like I'm weird, and totally quality time, did whatever he did, and responded with his silly sounds or whatever he wanted to play with. And, well, 5 minutes, and he was hooked. He wouldn't let go of me. He followed me. It was like permanent monkey clinging to my hip the whole rest of the night. It was just great because he felt that connection. So it was wonderful. Anyway, okay, moving on. Question. Oh, did you want to? Did anything come to mind that you feel guilty about, guest?
No.
Okay. Ooh, let's get into something juicy. Okay. Has any guests thought of? Let's see. Mahana said, I know. Good, we have tomorrow to talk. Yes, I have. Yes, and I have tomorrow off, Juneteenth. Woo woo! Celebrate. So that's also why I'm up late and couldn't sleep. I was failing. I felt like a failure. I didn't make it to the Rise of Power today. And then I didn't make it to my show at 8 o'clock. And I'm like, if I got to do something, I'm not going to be able to sleep today. I'm sweating. I need a bubble bath. Okay, question number 2. What's the point? Oh, that's a funny one. Okay, can't do that one. Okay. What do you like? Ooh, what do you dislike the most in people? Would you like to answer this question first, guest? What do you dislike the most in people? Or would you like me to answer first?
You should answer first.
Okay. So what do I dislike the most of people? Oh, man. A few things popped in my head. I dislike people that will betray someone's trust and loyalty and love for their own selfish purpose. And that's very vague, but there's a few things that I think about is that I feel like there's points when for me, betrayal just means it's in myself. It's like they aren't the person that I thought they were. I guess it's really frustrating. And when they do things that I feel like is very, mean or cruel or just very selfish. And I'm not talking about people that are, sick themselves or, not clear-headed. I more so mean people that I thought were in my inner circle and friends or close friends, and then I hear that they did something awful to somebody else, and I'll have a conversation. Okay, I'm not going to talk specifically who, but I had a conversation with this person and just listened, and I realized their intention was just because they were hurt, but they meant to hurt me because they were hurt, and they justified it, and it still didn't sit right with me, and I just remember feeling devastated. And so yeah, I'm not to say that I'm never selfish. There is a point when it's okay to be selfishly selfless. However, like I do try to do on a day-to-day basis, I do try to do the next right thing. And if I get that icky feeling in my stomach, like, ooh, something's not right about this or what I did or whatever, that's when I'll check in at night or reach out to someone, and I will try to correct that. But if I don't, you don't know what you don't know. And so if I don't know, then I can't fix that. And so, but I know that if I do try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but when I was a best friend, heard that she intentionally did these things because she wanted to hurt me because she felt that I hurt her, but that wasn't the way to do it. Okay, I'm done rambling. So again, to repeat the question, What do you dislike the most in people?
I dislike the people that think they're the main character. For example, the people that get offended for other people.
Ooh, that's a good answer. Okay, do you want to elaborate on that? I like that. So people that, okay, explain that second part if you feel do you feel comfortable explaining that a little bit? I kind of know what you're going with there, but I'm going to turn that off. How do you turn that off, the sound effect? Guessed. Oh, that helps. Hitting the right button. Thank you. Okay, so, the people that think that, say that second part again, if you feel comfortable.
The people that get offended for other people.
Ah, yes. Okay. I want to elaborate more on that, but I feel like I got to watch what I say because I could take it the wrong way. But yeah, they get offended for other people when it's not even their personal values, principles, morals, whatever, but they're all offended for this person. And then, I'll take it to that second extent. And then it's not even about them. They don't even have those same principles, morals, or values, but they're all standing up for someone else. And I mean, I guess it could go either one way or another. But 9 times out of 10, those people, the ones that I dislike, they're getting all hooting and hollering, but that's because they're distracted from their own selves. And the reality is they're just not educated. They're ignorant. Okay, last question. Keep things moving. Oh, and Bahara says, I agree 100%. Oh, Facebook user says, I'm guessing you are at home. I am not. I have actually made it in the studio. I have a key. Ooh, fancy. Another Facebook user says, say more. Okay. And then peer recovery training got me. Oh, yes. Oh, peer recovery training was where my mind was opened and awakened. And now I can't stop just wanting to know more and dig deeper. It's scary. Like I said, I'm really nervous to hear the show tomorrow, guest, because I'm glad you were here to comfort me and tap my shoulder, because I was about to just get sobby, and I didn't. Okay, last question. Whoa, this is a good one. Do you feel like men and women are equal? Google lost it out, guest.
No comment.
Oh, ooh, that's brave. This is a very brilliant answer. No comment. For me, do I feel like men and women are equal? I think we're equal as in human beings. Do I think we're equal? Yeah, that's a very vague question. And I could go all over the place with that. I think it's impossible to be equals in a sense of all kinds of physical, mental, emotional, whatever things, but I feel like we should be all treated fairly and equally, and it should just be based on your inner person, because you could say the man is this and women is that, but really, I think a lot of people don't even realize, get huffy and puffy about the labels. Pride Month, shout out. Well, they're just making it so complicated, and you should just either be this or that. Well, see, I'm a nerd, and there's great. I did take a psychology class I didn't finish, but that year. But there was this great class that I took that there's a lot of people don't know this. It's rare, but there's a lot of people that are born with both male and female parts, inside, outside. Their hormones go this way, their genes go that way, and a lot of times they have both parts, and so that is not a fair statement when people are like, oh, you should just be a man or a woman. That's silliness, because that's just not fair. Some people just are born with both. There's this great super athletic Olympic runner, and people got so bad because I believe she was identified as a female. However, she also had male female parts, so they were tried to, they was going the other way. So they were biased against her because she actually had male horrible or some. So I can't remember. I'll have to pull up that article. I'm not making this up, but they wanted to exclude her because of that. Well, that's just that's silly. You can't put a label on people. You can't just trap people in this box, because the reality is I am openly pansexual, which if you look that up, I'm gender blind. It just means that I don't hinder myself on loving someone based on their gender identity, sexual identity, emotional, romantical reasons. I just choose to be attracted to someone based on, I like to say, their soul. Okay, that's a lot of TMI information. Let's move on. We can all earn and build our way. Learn and build our way. There is no across the board limit. Oh, yes. And that's the best part of the recovery community, is we all have each other. And we all can, build with each other, grow with each other, heal with each other, learn from each other. I mean, I learn things new every day. Okay, I am so over the hot seat. All right, guest, are you ready to move on to my favorite part of the show?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, I do have a wonderful couple sound effects, so it does feel legit here. He's smiling. All right, my regular listeners, you know what that means. It is my favorite part of the show, meme time. And I got some great ones for tonight. Okay, so again, this is Seat of My Pants show here. So thankful for you all bearing with me. I did not touch on everything, let me tell you. But it's Father's Day. I want to keep it happy. But this is heavy stuff. Maybe some other time we'll get into. But multiple amends can be very helpful for yourself. And that's why I did do initial steps. I went through that. And it was good to just get through it and not sit in the past or take my time and be all thorough. What I love about Back to Basics is just get through the steps, and even just a couple of those amends. Just start, because getting that feeling of fulfillment that it can be done. And that's what I love about Tuesday nights at Fridley, 6:15. They do the 4 1-hour sessions. And what's great about Jason, who facilitates that meeting, is when they're on step 4, is you get to, and he actually breaks it down to 2 meetings, so that way it's not too rushed, but you go through one. You get the opportunity to go through one of your 4-step folks. And, well, it doesn't have to be people. It can be institutions or principals. But you get to have that weight lifted, and you get to have a room of sharing partners that can support you if you'd like it. And Back to Basics is what got me through and kept me on this beautiful journey of recovery. Okay, here we go. Meme number 1. So I'll make sure. Can you see the screen okay, guest?
Yes.
Okay, see people? He's still with me. Okay, here we go. Meme number 1. So, I forget. I'm so sorry, guest. This is not planned out well. So what I do is I'll flash you the memes that have liked or sunk in and resonated with me through the week for whatever reason. And then you're free to share. And you could, yes or no, you can say if you liked it or loved it or laughed out loud, anything you want to share on your view. So meme number 1, here we go. I'll describe it. So if anyone's seen the Disney movie Aladdin, that is Aladdin with the genie, and the genie's doing that scene where he's motioning his mouth to say things that he's supposed to be saying. And it says, "My therapist making me say nice things about myself." So I love this one because it does make me remember. Well, initially that was very hard to do for a long time, but now where it's this today is, it's very hard for me to even accept compliments. It's very hard. It's because I just do service. I do things for other people because what I don't think, and listeners, this is the thing, is I was taking and taking and taking mentally, emotionally, physically, time and everything from those stronger people in recovery because I really needed it. And I'm so, so grateful that me giving service is not a thought process. This is my opportunity. I finally crossed over and I get to give back, and it feels so fulfilling. So I don't need thank yous or compliments. So it's very weird when someone says, "Hey, Bridge, thank you so much. I appreciate you doing that." It's like a weird, awkward pause, and I have Brene Brown in my head say, "It's okay, Bridge. Say you're welcome." And you just don't object. I always want to say, "Oh, no, blah, blah, blah." Like, thank you. You're welcome. Okay, thanks. I'll accept your compliment. Okay, moving forward. Beam number 2. Oh, this is great. This is now shout out to Sarah, my Bessie. We have a weird, a really great. We're always on the same wavelength and energy, especially this weekend. It is a picture of a alien in a Men in Black suit, and it says, "Did you know when you walk through a door and forget why you are there, it could be because you ran into an alien and he had to erase your memory so he could escape." Do you like that one?
That's very interesting.
Ah! Well, okay, at first I thought it was kind of funny, but then I really actually thought about it, and I do that a lot. I forget. I walk into the room and I can't remember why I was there. Does that happen to you often, guest? Or ever?
Yes.
Yes! So what if it's like a Men in Black thing? Some interaction happened, and they wiped your memory. And that would mean that maybe this cool alien, needs interactions or answers from me, right? See, I'm going into this cool tangent. I love sci-fi. They needed answers from me, right? So they get the answer, but then poof, they have to erase my memory. And so that's why I forget things a lot? Because this alien folks, they need my wisdom. Guest. Woo, I almost said your name. Anyway, okay, moving on. This is sad to laugh alone. Here we go. Number 3. Oh, I gotta laugh. Okay. Oh, this one was inspiring. So this cute little girl. She looks like she's singing or shouting out. It says, "You can't talk butterfly language with caterpillar people." Boom. I liked that because, well, this is not a good meme for today, because today I've just been in a dark, bad place, sweating and angry, and but normally I'm very positive, and when I'm positive especially, and I'm out doing fun things, I want to be around fun, positive people, and definitely nothing wrong with caterpillar people. I do love caterpillar people when they're open-minded and willing and on the journey. But with the caterpillar people, and they're in the cocoon, and they're just, like we were talking about earlier, worrying about situations that don't even affect them. It's just outside, it's gossiping, whatever. I don't want to be around that. It's hideous. Would you agree with that? On any notes at all? All those things I just said.
Yes.
Yes! Alright, thumbs up from the yes. Okay. Next meme. Completes task that isn't on to-do list. This is me. Writes completed task on to-do list, and then crosses completed task off to-do list. This was me my whole weekend. This is a nightmare. I'm like, I'm going to show up to this place, and I'm going to organize, and I'm going to get this done. And then literally every time I started to work on one task, there was new things that needed to be worked on, and new things that needed to be organized and cleaned and dusted and put in the proper place. It's just like 100 things going. And I don't think I got like 2 hours of sleep last night, because when I finally laid down, all I kept thinking about was a lot of bugs flying around out here in the wilderness. Landed on my face. I couldn't relax, even though I'd cleaned and organized and done things all day. Anyway, to-do lists are great. And I do have a new tool on how to really have priorities in doing the to-do list. But I also saw a meme that said, how about have a not to-do list? So the next time I go out for some self-care, escaping time, I'm going to have a not to-do list. Do you like to-do lists, guess?
No.
Okay, you're very wise. Oh, that's, there you go. Sometimes it's better to say nothing. Okay, next meme. Oh, this is kind of heavier one. So there's like a glass or plastic container shaped like a baby. And on the left side of the baby is a glass that's filled with a red beverage, and it says love. And on the right side is a glass that's filled with an orange beverage, and it says hate. And there's a hand pouring into this container that's shaped like a baby. It says hate. It's picking from the orange. Ooh, orange. There's a couple glasses that says hate. It says, the meme says, they become what you pour into them. Do you get the meme, guest?
Yes, I understand.
Would you agree with that?
To a certain degree.
Okay. And I really like this one because, again, I've had to unfriend some people, guest. I've had to unfriend some people because it is very high in my values that people should love people no matter what they say or do. And it's way better to educate and acknowledge and teach about what that could mean for anybody. And for someone to say you can't teach this or do that because you might persuade them to have this opinion or that opinion is shenanigans. And I'm sorry, but I take it really personal, and that's what scares me, is that that friend or those friends that I'm not friends on Facebook with. I will in real life, of course. There's still people that I'll associate with and do good things with, but I know where they align, and it's true. It hurts it breaks my heart, because I think awareness and education is 100% needed. And so for them to say that they shouldn't be taught any of these things in school, what if their own child is already questioning things within themselves before this teacher might have enlightened them or gave them some useful information, and now hearing their parents' stance on it, now they feel like they have to hide who they are. Now they feel like they can't tell the truth. Now they feel like they're ashamed. So that's a little poke at those folks to maybe think about some things, but they're not on my Facebook friends list anymore. This is a reason. So they don't even know about this super secret show. Okay, that was heavy. Moving on. The rest of them should be funny. Here we go. Oh, this is not a funny one, but it's the realness. This is I shared this one with Barry right after our show, but I wanted to make sure it was on tonight's show. It says, religion is for those who are afraid to go to hell. Spirituality is for people who have been to hell and found a way out. And I like that. What do you think? Do you like this meme? Does anything stand out to you? Yes or no, guest?
No.
No. Okay. I like it because religion is... I like to study religions. And I've studied some of them very thoroughly. And I do like where some of those things align, and there seems to be a lot of similarities. However, there's a lot of things that I disagree with, a lot of them too. And what I find is that, I used to think I had to be these things or I'd go to hell. I used to think sinning was all kinds of ridiculous things that was fed into me. And once I went through the depths of my own hell, and survived a couple times, I found spirituality, and I don't align with one, religion or practice or whatever, but my spirituality is so strong, and nightly I have a check-in with my higher powers, and it's beautiful. But that's only because I died a couple times. So here we go. Next one. Oh, this is just funny. We all love Homer. So Homer's laughing in his window in a building somewhere, and so the meme says, "Me in my own room laughing at my own jokes because I'm hilarious." I do this sometimes. I call them yokes. If anyone knows what yokes are, that means they're jokes that are funny to you. It's okay, not funny. My guess is not laughing. Anyway, do you like this meme, guest, at all?
Sure.
Okay. Sure. Okay. I can't... Ooh, there's a comment, I think. Okay, I'm going to wait till the last meme. There is 3 more memes. Here we go. Next meme, and then I'll check in with the listeners, and then we're going to shut it down. I'm so sorry it's late night. My head is not. Lack of sleep. Okay. This meme, there's just words that says, maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my father. Too bold? Maybe I'm just like my mother. question mark. She's never therapist says, get out. Okay, this is my guest is younger. So this is actually a song. Baby, I'm just like mother. You did okay, this is a Prince song. And so the therapist looks like they were following them until they realized it was the patient or the client was singing. And that's why they're like, get out because you're making fun of me.
That's very funny.
It is! Because I'm reading it by line 2, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what this is. This is a great song. Get out. Okay. Next meme. Oh, that's Jack Nicholson looking crazy. I wonder what movie that's from.
You forgot to look at the comment.
Oh, yes. Oh, now there's 2. Okay, I want to get to the comments and focus on them. But, okay, yeah, we can take it. I can't leave my meme pages. Or I won't be able to see the memes, guys. I'm sorry. I haven't orchestrated that yet. So, okay. Second to last one. It says, this is Jack Nicholson. It says, when you were still recovering from the last lesson the universe sent you, but you are craving more growth. So it says, I can handle it. Jack Nicholson looks messed up. He looks crazy. Looks tired and stressed out. That's me right now. I'm thankful there is no video. And yeah, I definitely need a bubble bath. My hair is just this is crazy. No makeup. I'm hideous. But you know what? Lots of self-reflection this weekend. Lots of good listenings. And but yeah, I don't know what it is. But I just get perked up and excited when I know there's something new I get to learn, or I get to have a conversation with someone who's, has the same interests or is very wise. Okay, last meme. Thank you so much for putting up. Ooh, this one I really liked. I always save the best for last. It says, oh, it's just it looks like a person standing body of water. It's the sunlight. It says, I never knew how strong I was. Oh, that's why I picked this one. I never knew how strong I was until I had to forgive someone who wasn't sorry and accept an apology I never received. Ooh, that's beautiful. Before I ramble on about this meme, do you like this meme? Does it speak to you at all?
Yes.
Do you like it? Or does it speak to you? So this one speaks beautifully to my soul because there was a few people that I know will never accept my truth. They will tell me that I made it up. They will tell me, this person, she's still around, says that I never told her before. I've told her 4 times, different ways. And has a shrine to this person in her home. And I will never go back there again. I mean, never say never, but the last time I went there was a shrine to this person. And so I realized that people are just going to be who they're going to be, and I can accept that. And an amends to me means, in my heart of hearts, in my soul, my intention is and purpose for that amends is that I genuinely want the best for you. I want you to get better, or I want you to be able to, I want you to have a good life and live the life that you're supposed to live. And I do genuinely feel and see my part in it. And for me, that apology that is right within me, that I know that I mean, whether they want to accept it or not, whether they will acknowledge it or not, is okay. That's not what the amends is about for me. For me to really feel it and get it out, however I choose to, write it, speak it, direct, indirect, living, or in kind, however it is, as long as I know that I meant it in my heart, and just do the best I can to live it every day. That's it. That's how I've let go of some big ones. Some big, big, heavy ones. But anyway, so listeners, let's get to the last comments. Mahada says, yeah, spend to hell and back. Oh, yeah. And love spirituality. And I love you, Mahada. And listeners, anybody who just is brutal. Look, but we stuck to an hour. Wonderful. I didn't even need the alarms. Okay, well, happy Father's Day, everybody. I hope you had a great, hot, wonderful weekend. enjoyed that heat wave, got it maybe by the water or out in nature, or just stayed in your AC. I know that would have been a good idea. And I did get some time, but there was a lot of time I was not in the AC and I was not happy. But guess, what'd you think of this podcast? Would you say that it was not as bad as you anticipated?
Yes.
Okay! And would you say, could I go too far as to say, did you enjoy yourself a little bit?
A little bit.
Okay. I can accept that. This is a great awareness. And maybe next time, mystery guest, you'll reveal who you are. All right, listeners, thank you for putting up with me. I do heart you all. Thank you for letting me get some of that heavy crap off of my chest. I don't like holidays. I don't like family stuffs. But I've also already started processing, what should I do for the next family holiday? You know what I thought about, guest? I thought about, I'm going to go on vacation. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invite my favorite peoples. That includes you and just other little peoples, to come with me or not come with me. But either way, I'm going to go on a vacation during a holiday. And then I can just, make it joyful no matter what. Somewhere that is fun and like intentional and not an escape. More like a vacation. Okay, it's a vacation. What is the next holiday coming up? Do you know? Another family holiday. I'm trying to think. Oh, July 4th, right? Is that the next one? Independence Day?
I don't know.
I think it is. And I don't think it's not a specific personal holiday, but I'm going to make sure. Last year sucked. I spent it with somebody else's family, just driving his ass around. It was not fun. But this year, fireworks. Where's the best place? I'm going to look up a great place to see a cool fireworks show. And listeners, everybody else, I invite you. Let's do it. Especially if Recovery Folks is your family. And bring kiddos or whatever. But I'm going to make sure it's somewhere fun and intentional. Okay. Otherwise, I'll hermit in a cabin for a couple days and not talk to nobody. All right. I love you guys. Have a good night. I will be back on time next week. Everybody have a great week. Again, happy Juneteenth. Celebrate. And I am checking out. Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Good night. Hearts. Oh, keep your headphones on. I have inspirational music. I love to play this. So no matter what went on during the show, there's still something inspirational at the end. Here we go. You ready?